Hey, hold on. Let me unmute my, yeah. Can you hear me?
Jesse.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
can
how
you
are
guys
you?
now?
How's it going?
Okay, first, Jesse Dillon joined us. Dillon is an award-winning filmmaker, storyteller. His company is called Wondrous. He has created message and positionings for TED Red when CGI was going on, which I thought was pretty incredible. The Clinton Global Initiative. He helped out
Yeah.
there. He even helped out, you probably know, with one of the biggest campaigns ever, and that's the Yes We Can campaign for Barack Obama. Jesse, being a storyteller, how are you feeling about the world today?
Well, I feel the same as everybody else, a bit nervous. I mean, I think we have to keep looking to, we've definitely seen a lot of, William was highlighting a lot of the negative trends. And, I think it's incumbent upon all of us to look to when this ends and we can all get back to our regular lives.
But I mean, a lot of people are knocking on your door because they're nervous too. Are
Yeah.
you showing the same type of face to where you're nervous? Are you trying to be more uplifting? Are you an optimist or a pessimist during this time?
Well, I'm always an optimist, and I think it's there's no hope but to there's we have to hope, otherwise uh, and I think we will survive this. I think that people who are thinking it's going to go back to the way it was before, I think that's a problematic view. I don't know what it'll be. William was talking about or you were talking about hotels and different things like that. Like I have no idea. I think it's going to be a long time before we're all going like, hey, let's go to the Super Bowl and hang out with lots of other people. So I don't know exactly how it all unfolds. I don't think anybody does, obviously, but eventually this will pass.
Jesse, you come from an interesting entertainment background, um, community, and the entertainment community has suffered. Of course, the Hollywood industry has. I'm not sure if music has, other than concerts. And I'm wondering, can you see a bright side for the entertainment industry on this aspect?
I don't see a bright side for anybody right now. Uh, musical artists are going to suffer. You don't really make money on records anymore. So touring revenue being down is a huge loss. I mean, the artists on the top of the pile, I think, are going to be just fine. But all of their road crews, all the people who work for them, it's going to be a massive, massive loss. And I think it's going to take a long time before you're going to see. I don't know how much you're talking to any of those agents, but they're apoplectic right now because all the tours have been canceled, and there's no reason to think they're going to get started. Everybody keeps saying July, but I mean, that just seems like, hey, let's push everything to July. I don't think it really means much.
I forget the artist that I saw on her Twitter. She's got 4 million followers, and she did a concert yesterday
Yeah.
for $1 a person, and she had 700,000 people in her concert.
The vast majority of people don't have that, and that's an outlier. You know, the in general, you see all these things. You see Chris Martin. You see all these different artists doing shows. None of them are making money doing that. So it is possible that one person had a big haul like that, but you know the vast majority of artists are not going to make any money, at least from where I sit.
Yeah, but there is an opportunity now to start looking at your super fans and looking at the people that are out there that are looking towards you
I
as a
understand,
way
but
to not.
your super fans aren't making any money either, so they don't have any money to give you. That it's not going to be your hierarchical set of needs. You know, paying for music is probably a low
It's down there.
priority.
Well,
It's probably going to be groceries and things like that.
and I'm not trying to talk about LA being great. I'm just saying, on a recovery side, do you think when things are on the other side, the entertainment industry and the video game industry, which is somewhat dominated here, is going to give this a boost of adrenaline to move forward?
I mean, they've always been, yeah, I think that it's time for us to have artists be inspiring and tell us things that get us through this. but I don't think that necessarily is the same as economic models that are going to return. But obviously, I think that artists have an important role to play in the time that comes, because they can tell us about our fears and help us organize our thoughts about the way that the new world, things never evolve backwards. Things always move forward. So they're going to move forward, but they're going to move forward in a different way. William was obviously talking about how the markets are structured, but this could be a very, very big shift in the way that we work. It's like at my company, I have 150 people. Well, and we're doing more work than we've ever done before, but they're all doing it from their homes. There's no central, there are teams. How we organize ourselves as a company has changed in a week. And, people showing up for work is important, but they're not going to a central place. Well, for businesses like WeWork, it's like, well, I just learned that I don't need to have any WeWorks anywhere. I can run the business just fine from, Zoom.
You're right. Hey, now I did say you worked with companies like TED and other big events. What's going to happen there? I believe South by Southwest probably can't make it out of this. That's just me personally. And I know that date. What's that?
I think that's probably true, but I think that's probably because South by Southwest has moved beyond being valuable for the participants. So, it no longer has equity because, as we say, people use the word shit show, around South by Southwest. Well, we don't believe in that. And so when it has to return, it may not have that basic set of people who believe in it. A lot of the places where we work, like Milken, I think Milken will come back, because I think that there's a need for that. There's at TED, I think will return. I think there's a need for that, but they may not return as big as they were before, because I don't know about you, but I'm not thinking like I want to go up to Vancouver and hang out with a bunch of people anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like maybe in a couple of years,
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be, like we have a lot of international work, I'm definitely not going to be traveling around the world right now, not that they would have us, but,
You work with many medical organizations.
Sure.
And part of what Bill Ackman said earlier, if you go watch the interview, which I have on the portal, by the way, the full interview, he says the only thing that's going to get us out of this is a vaccine and a cure. And I'm wondering, what are you hearing from your side?
Well, yeah, I think that's true. I think this, the challenge of not testing everybody in America, only testing people who are sick, means that the virus just gets perpetuated out further and further, because it isn't going to be until, in Korea, the tactics that they used is that everybody gets tested. And so that if you're sick, you get put into their system and you get the medicine that you need. In our country, what we're doing is really just trying to distance everybody so that we don't just all go to the hospital on the same day. Well, that runs the risk of not being a very effective strategy. It's definitely what we need to be doing now, but it is not the intervention that we need. There's a terrible amount of pseudoscience going around, including the President of the United States talking about medicines that are not proven. So we don't have any first line of defense against the thing right now. And I would just not go no matter what you do not go to the hospital unless you really think there's no other way, because it's going to be overrun there and it's not going to be a good experience. The thing that I worry about more than anything else is that we talk about a lot of you have the virus, but then you have all the people who are sick that don't have the virus, but have cancer or these different conditions. Well, no surgeries, no treatment. So, the die-off could be a lot more extreme than just the, people who have the virus, so it's impacting all of our lives in totally unintended ways.
So Jesse, if people want to find you, are you active on Twitter?
No, I'm not. If you want to find me, you can send me an email. Jesse at Wondrous.
Have we gone back to the past?
I'm definitely going back to the past. I mean, look, I'm on LinkedIn, you know, but you know, for any metal person who wants to reach me, just reach me on Jesse at Wondrous. You know, I'm on a lot of the social platforms, but I never look at any of them. So.
I realize that. And you know, it's funny. I just realized that people are making phone calls again. People
Yeah.
are, I saw drive-in theaters are opening up again,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We're going
Right.
back to like the 1960s, 70s again.
It might
People
be.
are actually communicating in some ways.
Sure.
But Jesse, I really appreciate you hanging out with us. I
Thank
really
you.
do.
Thanks
Thanks
for
a
having
lot.
me.
Jesse Dillon, great guy. He's been part of metal for, gosh, almost a decade. He's such a class act. It's good to have him part of our resources out here.